All right, y'all. So I came across this video the other day on TikTok, and it immediately grabbed my attention. At first, I thought that the poster of the video, the original poster of the video, had a relative who was getting an exorcism in what seems to be a Catholic church. Well, I ended up contacting her to ask her if she was going to post a video without sound, and she sends me a voice message back because a lot of people were complaining about the sound. You know how people do that all the time. They put way too much sound behind the video and it ruins the quality of the video. So I kind of like low-key threw a little shade because I can't stand when people do that, and it was in good fun. It was good-hearted shade, but she ends up contacting me, and this is what she says. Take a listen.
So I'm sending you a voice note because I'm driving right now. I actually do not know who that man was. I went to church for adoration, for holy hour to pray. And I mean, if you look, because I have kind of like a little series of videos that I had, you'll see where I caught it. I literally caught it. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps. I caught it in real time. So when I got done praying my rosary, I went to the place where they have an altar, like a collective altar, to light like my own candle. And I was trying to figure out how to do it and like how much money to put in there. As soon as I pushed the button, that's when the man started growling. And I have never seen that in a Catholic church. When I was a kid, my mom, I used to witness it as a kid, but that was the first time I've ever seen that in a Catholic church.
So basically, she walks into this church and she starts hearing this dude literally get an exorcism in the front row. And guys, when I tell you, I mean, for one, it's crazy, by the way. Her name is Ruhita Sandy on TikTok, by the way. I told her I'd shout her out if I used her video. Ruhita Sandy, hence the profile picture of Sandy from SpongeBob. So it kind of actually surprised me that she said she had seen this prior, like as a child. She's seen exorcisms. Crazy. I've never seen anything like it, never even witnessed anything remotely like it, but I couldn't imagine how she felt when she walked into this church and all of a sudden she's listening to this. Take a listen. Wild, y'all. At the very front, right there. I mean, for one, this dude is not restrained. This dude is just sitting up there at his own free will. That would be terrifying in and of itself. And then the noises he's making, there is no way this is staged. There's no way this is fake. This is as real as it gets. It's one of the most insane videos, arguably, I've ever seen, as far as exorcism goes. She's praying as well. And I don't believe that's drugs. I believe he is possessed. Sounds about like ChatGPT when I was freaking out. What was that? Oh my God, y'all. That is wild. I don't know if it was the church or what, like the cathedral ceiling. But dude, y'all, is it just my? It can't be just my headphones. Whoa, y'all, that's just crazy. That was so wild. I've never. That was something different. That's demonic as hell. Where's the pastor? Where's the priest? Hurry up, my boy. Get there. This dude needs help. Whoa. It's clearly already having trouble. It's in pain. I mean, if this doesn't explain the paranormal, I just don't know what does. Because nobody's out here acting like this from anything other than an exorcism, like a demonic possession, period. Like, there's the man of the hour. Let's see what you got, priest. Hope you studied up. He's like, I didn't sign up for this crap. Get him with the holy, okay. You don't like the holy water. It'd been cool to hear what he said. God, dude's hurting. It ain't liking that. He's really good. Wow. Gnarly. Yikes. Wow. Cast that demon. Cast it out. Was that crazy or what, y'all? When that whisper, like that hiss, actually resonated around her, it sounded like it was literally right behind her. I've never even witnessed or heard or seen any video even remotely close to what that exorcism was. That was insane. Most of them seem staged. That seems so legit. And you saw where she walked into the church to pray, and then it just so happened to be the situation. Like, what? What crazy luck. I mean, I personally think that would be awesome. Like, I want to see that take place for sure. All right. The next video that we have in line here is some more meteors. Some of them in Michigan, but basically more meteors across the country. I find it just I'm baffled by those. I'm fascinated by them. I don't believe they're meteors. I really don't. I find that hard to believe, in fact, that they are meteors. There's definitely something more going on with those. But to that note, I saw this video of this gentleman, and I'm sure there's others around there or out there of people on beaches on the West Coast, and I think the East Coast as well, where they're regular beachgoers, and what they could see out before, like little islands, and you know, they could see out a certain distance every time they come to the beach. They just watch, and you could see so far. Well, all of a sudden, there's been this just large, thick layer of cloud cover and like almost like a fog over the ocean at a certain distance, so you cannot see what's going on off each of the coasts at all. Like if there's any warfare going on, if there's any tactics being used, like any fighting or any naval warfare going on. There's basically a blockade of clouds impeding us from viewing the events taking place on the Pacific, especially, I guess. So, very intriguing, I thought. Does that have to do with the meteors? It's hard to say. I mean, I guess I'm just saying that if there is battle going on off the coast, we can't see it, and I guess in turn, if it is going off, if battle is taking place just off the coast like that, who's to say some rockets couldn't get sent our way? That's just, for entertainment purposes only, that's just speculation, that they could have rockets coming our way, here and there. Hard to say. Or I just think too, that it could be more of an explanation than we really even understand. I think truly they could be some sort of creature of whatever. I mean, it could be a dragon. I mean, it could be a lot of things. Phoenix. I have a feeling it's something to do, and I know I'm reaching here, but this is just my fantastical mind talking, my like mythical beast mind, I guess. It's always generally a blue, or well, it sometimes is red, but it's like a lot of times like a hot, fiery blue, maybe with a hint of red or flare coming off of them. It just makes me wonder if there isn't a certain creature that has to reach a certain temperature to, self procreate, or like I know phoenixes say in legend and lore that if they don't find a mate for so long, they can actually switch sexes and impregnate themselves to continue on the species. I found that very fascinating. I read that one day and I was like, wow, that's insane. So could in with a phoenix as well, their eggs have to reach a certain temperature in order to hatch. Could that be I don't know. But yeah, take a look and let me know what you guys think anyway.
I should tell people how
Dan, what is that?
I don't know. I'm filming it.
I'm pretty sure my manager also thinks I'm like in my 30s.
Is it a rocket?
It might be a rocket. It looks very SpaceX to me.
It's coming here.
If it is, it's going to be wonderful.
Oh, wow. There's definitely a line there. Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is a great SpaceX viewpoint. It's SpaceX, by the way. Absolutely.
That's absolutely SpaceX?
Yeah.
I thought SpaceX was white.
No, this is SpaceX.
Wait, SpaceX, or, I mean, it's from, you're saying it's from
this
SpaceX.
This is like the best meteor I've ever fucking seen.
Are we watching a meteor right now?
I mean, I've never seen anything in the sky that looks like that.
Yeah, that's a meteor. Looks like a rocket, frankly.
Whoa, it's losing, okay, the tail's changing color now.
Yeah, it's SpaceX. It's going up, so.
Wait, when you say do you mean it's Starlink? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a satellite.
He has no clue. He's just talking out his neck.
Oh, that might have been a meteor, dude.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just disappeared.
It was a meteor. It burned out.
Wow.
That was like maybe the best.
7 fireballs, 8 days, 1 country. And NASA's official response is essentially not connected. Nothing to worry about. But here's the thing about nothing. It doesn't shake buildings across 4 states. It doesn't punch through someone's roof in suburban Houston. It doesn't light up the sky from Portland to Seattle. Something is arriving, repeatedly, on a schedule that no one predicted and no detection system saw coming. And while the rocks were falling, the strongest earthquake of 2026 just struck Tonga. A solar shockwave is heading directly for Earth, and an asteroid passed closer than the moon this morning. Separately, each of these is a footnote. Together, they are something else entirely. Stay with me, because what's actually happening overhead right now is stranger than the headlines suggest. If this has you asking questions, subscribe to the Skylab, because we are going to keep following this as it develops, and it is developing fast. The objects are still arriving. The data is still coming in. Drop a comment below and be honest with me. If 7 fireballs just hit the United States in 8 days, with 0 warning on every single one, what does that actually say about what we are not seeing right now? I genuinely want to know what you think.
That one was crazy.
Now, let's get into it.
I mean, what could it be? Especially the fact that NASA doesn't know about it. Really? I find that hard to believe. That's why I'm saying there's something more to these things. I don't believe they're craft. I don't believe they're any of that. There's just something more to them, whether it be a mystical beast or a dragon or something along those lines. It's just very odd indeed.
The week everything compressed. 7 fireballs, 8 days, 1 country, and the week isn't even over yet. Let's just stack what happened,
gnarly
because the only way
footage.
to truly feel the weight of this is to hear it all in sequence without stopping. On March 17th, a 7-ton asteroid explodes over Ohio in broad daylight. Not at night, not in some remote field, in the middle of the afternoon, over one of the most densely populated corridors in the American Midwest. Buildings shake, windows rattle. People pull over on highways because they think something has blown up nearby. The American Meteor Society receives hundreds of reports within minutes. Then NASA confirms it. Then the energy estimate comes in,
Those are obviously
roughly
AI.
250 tons of TNT equivalent released in a single atmospheric pulse. That's not a meteor, that's an event.
Yeah.
4 days later, on March 21st, Houston gets its turn. A fireball streaks across the Texas sky, and this time Doppler radar, the same technology
that.
used to
It's
track
green.
thunderstorms, picks up a debris field. A fragmentation cloud spreading across the radar return like a slow exhale. And then, something almost impossible to believe in the modern United States. Reports emerge that a meteorite may have physically entered a woman's home in suburban Houston, through the roof,
Interesting.
into a house where people live. That is not background noise. That is not a statistical abstraction. That is a rock from space landing inside someone's life.
Sorry, but there's a firmament, space. It's just not, it doesn't make sense. Meteor thing. The whole thing about meteors doesn't make sense. All right, y'all. So this video is of myself, yours truly. And it's a story I heard on TikTok. Fascinating. Saw a gentleman claim that he was on the Ellen DeGeneres show because he was a child prodigy chess player, and that just after he got off set, he looks to his right and sees Ellen's dressing room door open. It was open just enough that he can see her manually
Crazy.
dislocating her jaw, embodying an entire Gelson's rotisserie chicken in one gulp. She then turned and looked at him and hissed. He sprinted all the way to his dressing room and tried to tell his mom, but she didn't believe him. Not. And I'm pretty sure that's not the first time somebody has told a similar story about Ellen DeGeneres. And a lot of people in the comments are saying, are you sure that was a rotisserie chicken? Or was it a baby? Oh, really though? Or was it a like infant or something? I don't know. Freaky, dude. So you guys remember the stories from Sims Rule 13, right? The gentleman Eric, who was a anthropologist in the mid 1950s, maybe 1940s. But he claimed there were creatures called wild men that could dislocate their jaw and eat whole chickens and also infants and, you name it. That's a freaky trait, and it's almost what kind of trait? A reptilian trait. Just like, boas and anacondas, how they dislocate their jaw to get the whole prey down. So, yeah, absolutely interesting, very wild take. And yeah, I believe she definitely is a lizard and an evil demonic chick for sure. Okay, next we have our boy Sims Rule, but they changed their name to something different. Female Millennium Goji. What you hear in these next couple videos will blow your mind. Absolutely blow your mind.
This was reported 2 years ago. I'm from northern Ontario, and there's been many sightings of strange creatures around the area I'm from. As a kid, I was told many stories about all sorts of creatures, but it wasn't until last year that I really started to believe them, when my friend and his family were driving north of here, and they stopped and witnessed a very strange creature that was eating garbage. The second story that I have more detailed was supposedly a dinosaur sighting that took place approximately 70 years ago at a now long abandoned town at the edge of a lake.
Now look at that. Take a good look at that. That is damning evidence. And I believe that's a real legit ass picture.
One elder I heard the story from told me that they watched what looked like a brontosaurus walking slowly through the forest, with its head clearing the top of the forest canopy. They watched it slowly walk to the lake and then swim out to where the lake gets huge and deep and disappear around the bend.
See, now, I didn't know plesiosaurs would be land animals at all. But that's kind of what it sounded like. Unless it was like a brachiosaurus, literally just walked into the water and started swimming. I find that hard to believe. So there must have been plesiosaurs that could use their flippers to traverse the land, I'm guessing. But that goes to the sighting that didn't, this was like, God, I want to say it took place maybe back in the 60s or 70s in Canada, where they saw a alleged dinosaur, like a T-Rex type being or a, predator dinosaur, a more meat-eating dinosaur, if you will, in Canada. This was years ago. I don't know if it's still happening, but obviously we probably wouldn't hear about it. But yeah, there's sightings of dinosaurs out in the Congo, Amazon, all over the place. So they're still out there. They're just way, way away from humans.
To help you picture what this area looks like, picture an upside-down snowman with the town located at the top of the head and the larger part of the lake, the midsection of the body. The dinosaur, they said, went from left to right before disappearing out of sight.
Wow.
Sorry for my horrible storytelling. I really should have written it out a tad more detailed than I have. Alright, so this report was submitted 2 years ago, and it's not the first one of a lake monster where they say it looks like a brontosaur, generic antique sauropod walking around. And just keep in mind, Mesozoic dinosaurs are extinct with the exception of birds. Today I received 3 separate cryptid reports. This is the first one.
These catfish are nuts.
I live in Pennsylvania.
This one's
Decades
wild.
ago, my dad and his best friend were telling me a story. They said they had seen some kind of barge set up in the Allegheny River. I don't know what they were drilling for, but they punched through the floor of the river and discovered there is another river beneath the Allegheny. They sent 2 divers down in to explore it.
That's crazy.
They said the guys came back out and were absolutely petrified. They said that there were catfish down there laying on the bottom that were much larger than a man and didn't have any eyes and just laid there with their mouths open. The guys were absolutely terrified and refused to go back in.
Can you imagine it, guys? They're out there drilling in the 50s. They punched through the floor of the river, or the riverbed. They punched through the riverbed into a larger cavity in which they swim into that has water in it. There's catfish literally large enough to eat you, just laying on the bottom with its mouth open. The fuck? Like, what in the hell, y'all? That is just some wild ass shit right there. I don't care. That's freaky as hell. That is too freaky. Wait, they get bigger.
Pretty sure that this happened in the late 50s / early 60s. The second one comes from Sabrina, quite brief, and she just says, my dad had a job underwater welding. He quit after he saw a catfish large enough to swallow him whole. We live in Michigan. Nothing that large should be in the water here.
Lake Michigan.
And to top it off, an anonymous fellow sends in perhaps the most interesting report of the day. I saw a snout similar to a seal or dog in Texas City while fishing.
So weird.
It stuck out of the water quickly and then went back under, whiskers and all. There are no seals in Texas as far as I know. There were hundreds of fish carcasses of weird fish with extremely sharp teeth everywhere. I saw many things there over time. So we've got 3 separate reports just from today. And as I was talking about in some of the last videos, the whole catfish emphasis, I'm really not joking about it. And it hasn't come up in a moment, but I'll be discussing large turtles again soon, because the cryptozoological reports of large turtles are also going haywire. But you can see with the catfish situation, and this isn't anything new. This you can find these in newspaper articles back in the 1800s of gigantic catfish in the USA.
Yep. Think about it. Catfish get ridiculous.
The idea that lake monsters can be accounted for with large members of known fish species seems like a compelling idea. But then we end up with a lot of land sightings of lake monsters. That includes the Lake Champlain monster, and we have trackways of both Lake Champlain and Loch Ness. So the notion that these sightings can be regarded as simply people seeing large sturgeon is totally out of the window as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
However, that does not exclude the possibility that people are also seeing very large fish.
That's
because
possible.
I have a couple of reports today to skim over. And the first one is actually from Lake Superior. Somebody was diving in Lake Superior, and they were a very accomplished freshwater diver, and I believe they were actually doing it for a job. They were doing something in a professional capacity, and they had multiple people with them, and what he reported was a catfish of approximately 18 feet long, and
18 feet? Think about that. A catfish. That thing had to weigh at least 1,000 pounds or so. At 18 feet? Maybe more. Think about how fat that thing would be. And what is it eating at 18 feet? Dude, that's a decent-sized great white shark. And I bet the catfish is fatter. And that's in Lake Superior, fam. People don't understand. The Great Lakes are massive. They say some of the storms on the Great Lakes are more lethal than the ones on the oceans, and they can be more deadly. That's a crazy thought, right? Well, his other report from not too long ago where the gentleman from the Air Force saw what he believed was a plesiosaur that was over 150 feet. Come on, man. These things are smart. They've been around for thousands and thousands of years. They know how to avoid us, and they're very good at it. It's easy. People still spot them, but nobody believes them anyway. And if they attack people, it must be very rare when they do. I imagine most times they don't. I don't believe they probably do. I could see maybe some of the sea serpents or something like that, but I swear to God, you'd find out, unlike sharks, they don't seek us out. Crazy stuff, dude. I love his stories, bro. This dude's got some gold.
he said that it had the proportions of the sort of Southeast Asian catfish species, not necessarily the proportions of a Wells catfish or anything like that. And he actually claimed that it had a very large lamprey attached to its flank. So that's a very crazy story, but if you've ever heard the urban rumors and myths regarding dams. There's a lot of lore in the United States about large catfish living at the bottom of dams, and this is often regarded as just fanciful nonsense, but there would appear to be a lot of genuine testimony of these incredibly large catfish specimens, and there are indeed instances of attacks on humans. One report I have actually has an industrial worker that lost a friend to what he described as a great white shark-sized catfish in sort of an industrial runoff pool.
That is crazy, though, y'all. That is absolutely crazy. A great white shark-sized catfish ate this industrial worker, and it was kind of chilling at like a drainage pool. Like, what in the world, y'all? Catfish that big shouldn't exist. It's insane. And they must not have any real prey in these fresh waters. They must not have any real serious prey or threats that they have attacking them in these waters. That's why they just get so ridiculously big. Okay, and I did want to go through this video with you guys real quick. I want you guys to really take a good look at this. It's very odd. I don't know what to make of it. I believe it's some sort of mystical creature. Maybe a dragon. Not sure. But it is fascinating and it is fast. Did you catch it? Again. Catch it? That is the craziest being I've ever seen. It's like light. Like, let me show you guys. Is that not absolutely fascinating? Now watch this. 1/10 of the speed. I'll show you guys. Now check it out. Look at the sky behind it. When it lights up. See, then it comes in. Whoosh. See that? Whoosh. And it changes direction. Whoosh. Right there. See that? Does that not look like some sort of winged creature? You see the wings, the head? Very, very interesting. Then it goes out, back out. Whoosh. Look at the whole sky. See the whole sky light up? Comes back in. Right? It's just so wild. Comes back right there. Whoosh. Now real time. Once again. Boom. Hear it? So weird. Unlike anything I've ever seen. Don't know what to make of it. Don't know what it is. No idea. In this next video, you can clearly see all the pyramids this gentleman is witnessing. You can literally see the bricks. It's quite fascinating. This next gentleman's story is an encounter he had with his neighbor while he was getting snake repellent at the hardware store. This is wild. Listen to this, guys.
People be talking about, man, that shit is true. I don't want to tell this fucking story. My neighbor insists that I do, so I don't know why he won't get on camera and say the shit, but I'm gonna say it. was it Wednesday? Thursday. We went to Tractor Supply and we got some snake stopper. And we came back to the house. Our yards are connected. Right? Our yards are connected or whatever. So I'm putting some around my house. He put some around his house. And then we just kind of out there talking shit, doing it together for real. Me being clumsy and, talking shit. I accidentally got some of this shit on us. So he was like, man, hey, pretty boy, you ain't got time to go back in the house to take a shower. We got to go back and get some more stuff. So we went back, got some more stuff, got in line. And it was my neighbor, me, and this mixed-looking guy behind me. Maybe the mixed-looking guy looked like he's about 35, 36 or whatever. So he kept sneezing. And his sneeze didn't sound like, it was like that. He kept on. And so my neighbor was like, man, yo, something weird going on with that guy behind. He sneezed again, and I turned around, like, this part of his face, coming from his nose, across this way, turned scaly. His eye had a slit, but the slit wasn't up and down, the slit was sideways. The cashier see that shit, she run to the back. We get our stuff, we go out. He eventually, I don't know if he paid for his shit or what happened. He came on outside. He was like, yo, fellas, please don't tell anybody about this. I'm just like y'all, man. I'm just trying to live here. I'm just trying to make a living like you. And I'm like, yo, we didn't see shit. We got the fuck on. And then my neighbor got in the car, was like, yo, bro, I done seen this guy somewhere before. I think he worked at the courthouse. And I'm like, somebody like that working at the fucking courthouse, man, you believe what we just fucking saw? And it's making me think of the shit that we done seen on movies and stuff. Like, I done heard plenty of people say, like, hey, the stuff in the movies be true. That's how they get their true shit out. Like, put it in the movie, like, instead of telling us directly. And I'm like, man, whatever about that. But that scene in Man in Black when Tommy Lee Jones was telling Will Smith, I don't remember exactly how he said. He was like, oh, some of them just trying to make a decent living. Like, Will Smith was like, let me guess, cab drivers or something like that. And he was like, not many. There was something like that he had said, but yo, like, no, middle of his face, down his nose, come across this way, turned scaly. His eye had a slit, but the slit turned this way. What the So I'm assuming that snake stopper or whatever we was using triggered something in that motherfucker. Like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, and my neighbor, I think he's still kind of shook up about it. He ain't really saying much, but I guess it's
one last video I want you guys to see.
Slaves have taken over the world. This is how it happened. This is roughly the distribution of lands for the bloodlines. This is after the flood. There was a major reset war in 70 AD, aka 1070 AD. 1,000 years have been injected in the timeline. Canaan was a slave, Genesis 9:27, and the Canaanites, or Canaanites, the Genghis Khananites, took over a large swath of land throughout the 1200s. This coincided with the Mamluk takeover. Mamluk means owned or slave. The fall of Rome is actually 1476. This coincided with the adoption of Christianity and precipitated the dark age that we currently live in. Again, Rome is Edom, the brother of Israel. They are both Shemites, but Edomites are not Israelites. The royal families of Europe come from Edomite women and Yaphethite fathers, particularly Ashkenaz. This hybridization produced the Anglos, or angels, the fallen angels, the Anglo-Saxons, or the Saka, which are the Scythians, or the Japhethites. They act as if they're German and even call Germany Ashkenaz. The Sax, or Saxon-Coburg-Gotha family changed their name to Windsor, and that is the royal family of England today. Brits were black, swarthy, like King Charles, and they were taken over by the Anglos. King George III, the last king of America, and Queen Charlotte, his wife, were light-skinned black people. You can see it. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, and the Napoleonic Wars. These are slave uprisings and reset wars. Up into the late 1700s, Benjamin Franklin referred to the French, the Russians, the Italians, the Spaniards, and even the Germans and Swedes as swarthy. From 1775 to 1870, we had worldwide reset wars. The King of England today admits he comes from the Vlad Dracula bloodline, the vampiric bloodline. The world and the dreams have been colonized because parasites live in colonies. These chimeric slave clones were created to be soldiers and laborers. Now the soulless clones have gained enough power to forcibly crossbreed with the Rogam shot, creating heterozygous offspring. Millions were created and enslaved by their black, mulatto, and quadroon masters. The vanity and pride of people like the Moors precipitated these uprisings. Slaves ruled slaves. Life got even worse. There is no honor amongst parasites, and they will consume each other. That is why endless war and sacrifice continues. Genghis Khan said, "I am the punishment of God. If you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you." If only aboriginals could get along like Esau and Jacob in Genesis 33 when they reconcile. Parasites could never penetrate, and order would be restored. Even slaves could live a decent life. When those who are designed to lead don't lead, everybody suffers. When slaves lead, we all live like slaves. When soulless clones lead, they're in perfect position for parasites and fallen angels to inhabit them. Nobody is immune to vanity and pride, but grafts are even more susceptible to it. This is how the world is raped and the parasite spreads. At least 1 billion people are infected by the parasite that Genghis Khan had today. Humanity and mankind are not man. Know the difference.
Interesting. Very interesting take. Never really, he seemed very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. Very interesting take. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys liked in the comments. And any suggestions, let me know. I am out.